From record-breaking homelessness and crime to an immigration crisis, New York City is struggling massively, and some would even say it's officially been ruined. While New York City has long been synonymous with success and opportunity, many residents are increasingly fearful for their future as the city's quality of life seems to be eroding rapidly. And Mayor Eric Adams has even said it himself. Let me tell you something, New Yorkers. Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. So, today on Across the Globe, we'll be looking at how New York City got ruined. New York City's history. Before we delve into the many reasons New York City is struggling, let's take a brief look at the history of the city and the trials and tribulations it has been through to lead it to where it is today. From its humble beginnings as a colonial trading post in the 17th century to its current status as one of the world's most iconic and vibrant metropolises, New York City has always been a city of contrasts. Throughout its rich history, NYC has been shaped by waves of immigration, industrialization, and innovation, earning it the nickname the city that never sleeps. From its early days as a hub of finance and commerce to its current status as a global center for art, culture, and entertainment, New York has consistently reinvented itself, showcasing its resilience and adaptability. However, the city has also faced its share of tribulations, including devastating fires, economic downturns, and social unrest. The Great Fire of 1835, the Great Depression of the 1930s, and the devastating 9/11 attacks are just a few examples of the many challenges New York City has overcome. Through it all, the city has persevered, emerging stronger and more resilient each time. However, recently, NYC has been hit with a number of unforeseen challenges that continue to take a toll on the city and its people. So, let's explore where things have taken a turn for the worse. Issue number 1, New York City's homelessness crisis. New York City is often seen as a city full of high flyers like Wall Street bankers, traders, and young professionals. While these people certainly exist and thrive here, the city has long been known to have a serious homelessness issue. In January 2024, the New York Post reported that the number of homeless people in New York City's shelter system skyrocketed 53% between 2023 and 2024. According to Coalition for the Homeless, in recent years, homelessness in New York City has reached the highest level since the Great Depression of the 1930s. They noted how in April 2024, 147,518 people slept each night in NYC shelters. Those that cannot secure a spot in the shelter are then confined to the streets of New York City, whether it be on sidewalks, under bridges, or in the doorways of department stores. This problem has only gotten worse since the number of migrants arriving daily has increased dramatically. In August 2023, it was reported that these record numbers of asylum seekers arriving in New York from across the globe has nearly doubled the city's homeless population. The New York Times referred to this as a system that has officially broken down. Issue number 2, immigration. It's no secret that New York City is in the midst of an immigration crisis. According to Gurzo Media, since 2022, New York City has absorbed more than 170,000 migrants. NPR corresponded with these figures, stating that by February 2024, this has increased to 175,000. The major concern with this crisis is the fact that New York City has continuously appealed to people seeking asylum due to its status as a sanctuary city. In 1989, the New York City Council passed the Anti-Defund Hate Ordinance, making New York City a sanctuary city by restricting the city's cooperation with federal immigration authorities. The measure was sparked by the rise of anti-immigrant sentiment and violent attacks on undocumented immigrants in the city. Proponents of the ordinance, including Mayor David Dinkins, argued that it was necessary to protect the rights of all New Yorkers, regardless of their immigration status, and to maintain trust between law enforcement and immigrant communities. While the measure was hailed by many as a progressive victory, it has also been met with fierce criticism from those who argue that it undermines public safety and allows dangerous individuals to remain in the country. Additionally, NYC's distinction as a sanctuary city has led many other states to take advantage of this. In November 2023, the Daily Mail reported that Texas spent a staggering $86.1 million busing migrants to cities like New York City, Chicago, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C. They noted that New York received the most migrants, with 24,200 bused to the Big Apple between 2022 and 2023. More recently, steps have been put into place to finally tackle the immigration crisis, with Mayor Eric Adams driving forth a new policy that evicts immigrants from shelters after a certain amount of time. Single adults will be evicted after 30 days, whereas families with children can be evicted after 60 days. According to ABC News, these new measures came off the back of a major challenge for the city. They reported that the state of New York is facing an estimated backlog of 330,000 pending immigration cases, according to an analysis of Department of Homeland Security data by Syracuse University researchers. While many New Yorkers will see these new policies as a step in the right direction, many are fearful that it will only lead to an increase in homelessness. The main concern from an increase in people sleeping on the streets is the desperate measures they may go to in order to feed themselves and their families. In turn, this could lead to a spike in crime. According to the New York City Criminal Justice Agency, research indicates high rates of homelessness among people involved in the criminal legal system. In their report, they noted a 2008 national survey which found that 15.3% of the U.S. jail population reported an episode of homelessness anytime in the year before they were incarcerated. Issue number 3, crime. As the most populous city in the United States, New York City is inevitably plagued by crime, just like any other metropolis of its size. However, in recent years, the city's reputation for high crime rates has been heightened by a surge in violent incidents, including homicides, shootings, and robberies. In January 2024, the NYPD released their citywide crime statistics. They announced that arrests for all major index crimes citywide jumped from 4,422 in January 2023 to 4,676 in January 2024, which is a 5.7% increase. In February 2024, ABC7 New York reported that major crime in the NYC subway system was up almost 50% in January 2024 compared to 2023. Then, in March 2024, the New York Post reported that overall major crimes, including felony assaults, burglaries, and grand larcenies, had increased 13% between 2023 and 2024. So, it is easy to see why so many New Yorkers are starting to feel unsafe. According to CBS News, a recent survey has found that New Yorkers feel their quality of life has taken a big hit in recent years. The survey, which was conducted by the Citizens Budget Commission, asked New York City residents about everything from public education to crime on the subway. 6,600 households across the city took part in the survey. The survey found that many New Yorkers are feeling less positive, not very safe, and unsatisfied with most city services. The study also found that just 30% of New Yorkers rated their quality of life as good, down from 50% in 2017. In August 2023, Mayor Eric Adams announced a plan to combat gun violence in New York City, committing $485 million to a slate of initiatives largely aimed at prevention. So, things are being done to make New Yorkers feel more at ease, but sadly, there seems to be a long way to go, as proven by a 2024 poll that found that 52.6% of New Yorkers feel very unsafe in the subway at night, according to the ticker. Issue number 4, cost of living. For decades, many New York City residents have struggled to make ends meet, with high living costs, limited job opportunities, and a rapidly gentrifying landscape pushing the city's working-class residents to the brink. Despite being a hub of economic activity and innovation, the city's economic inequality has long been a pressing issue, with many low and moderate-income households struggling to afford basic necessities like housing, healthcare, and food. The situation has only worsened in recent years, with rising rent burdens, stagnant wages, and increased costs for everyday expenses like transportation and utilities, making it increasingly difficult for families to get by. As a result, many are forced to rely on poverty-level wages, part-time jobs, or precarious gig work just to scrape together enough income to cover their bills. In 2023, BBC News stated that around half of working-age households in New York City do not make enough money to cover basic needs. They noted how this marked a significant jump from a 2021 study, which found that 36% of households were struggling. They then added that this surge was driven by the sharp rise in prices in recent years. What's more, they noted that in 2023, a family of four would need to make more than $100,000 to match costs anywhere in New York City. Sadly, in 2024, things have not improved. In April 2024, Crain's New York Business reported that New Yorkers are facing an acute affordability crisis and one that extends beyond housing and overall cost of living. The housing market is a major culprit in New York City's cost of living crisis, with cost burdens being the primary driver of housing insecurity for many residents. The city's rapidly rising housing costs have pushed the median rent to astronomical levels, with the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment exceeding $3,000 per month. According to Apartments.com, the average rent in New York is $3,784 per month, which is 149% higher than the national average rent price of $1,518 per month. When it comes to renting in Manhattan, Rent Cafe reported that as of 2024, the average rent for an apartment here is $4,831. Many would argue that this has led to a surge in homelessness, with, as mentioned, over 100,000 people experiencing homelessness on any given night, and countless more struggling to make ends meet. The situation is particularly dire for low and moderate income families who are often forced to spend more than half of their income on rent, leaving them with limited funds for other basic necessities like food, healthcare, and education. Now, if we circle back to the migrant crisis, many believe that this is damaging the job market, which can also worsen the cost of living. As many New Yorkers struggle to find work, many migrants are finding work and undercutting people without a work permit. In June 2024, the New York Post reported that over 2,000 migrants in New York City have been connected with a job under the Adams administration's ongoing push. While this could be a good thing depending on how you look at it, it could be a bad scenario for longtime NYC residents struggling to find work. However, New York is finally beginning to kick out migrants. Watch our video on that here.